we're live.
Hi there, Tackler. Welcome back to Disney Deep Dive, where each week we dive into the history, story, and details of the Disney parks. I'm Leah.
I'm Stefan.
And today we are going to be talking all about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party because it is October, it is Halloween. And if you are watching live and you're wondering why we are live right now, which is 8:30 Eastern Time on Wednesday, it is because tomorrow, Thursday, our normal time when we go live at 8 p.m., I am going to be out of town, and I suppose you could have done it solo, but we have more fun doing it together, I think.
Yes, I'd rather not.
Yeah. So anyhow, and there is going to be another week, the week of Halloween, when we are probably going to be a different day and time. Stay tuned for that. We will try to let you know. This one, we didn't get to push out the message as early as we wanted to, but we're going to rock and roll and make it happen.
Mm-hmm. So this is exciting. This is our first ever event deep dive. Usually it's, rides.
Yeah, or attractions, but really almost all rides.
Yeah. So this is our very first event. What do you call it? Event party?
Yeah, it's a party. It's a ticketed event. So you have to have a special ticket to go.
Hard ticket.
A hard ticket.
As they call
it. A hard ticketed event.
Tough. So this is our first hard ticket event.
Yes.
Actually, let's just start at the beginning. What's your experience?
My experience would be a big fat 0.
Whoa,
I have
me
never
too.
been.
Weird. Never been there.
We've been to Walt Disney World, but we've never been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Yes.
If you've been and you're watching live, let us know in the chat. And if you're watching on the replay, let us know in the comments. We have been together with our kids and your parents and brother to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, but we have never been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. However, we're going to talk all about it at the 2019 version. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's do it.
If you're not familiar, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is a separate admission event. Halloween-themed event held annually during the months of August, September, and October in the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World.
Yes, it starts August 16th, which is super... it's so funny to think about planning for Halloween stuff.
It's early.
Yeah, we were thinking about that with the shirts because we have Small World Shirts Co. linked in the bio if you want to look. That's where my lovely Thomas O'Malley shirt's from. But we were talking about that way back in June because it's so early.
Yeah, get it out in August because Halloween starts in August now. So get on it.
Because they need... the demand is so high. People love this party. It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, obviously. There is a Disneyland Paris version of the party, but we won't be talking about that. We'll be talking about Walt Disney World version.
Yes, and Disneyland has their own Halloween celebration, but we are not talking about that either. Just Walt Disney World.
Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Yes.
In America.
Orlando.
Starting at the beginning, as we usually do, because there is some history here. Before the party that we know it as today, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party has been providing us with spooky fun and excitement for 24 years.
24
years, which is crazy. But Disney World has been open for a lot longer than that. So you may be wondering what went on before the ghosts, ghouls, and pumpkins took over Main Street. Well, originally, when the park first opened, they didn't have anything. They didn't celebrate Halloween at all. And this was because the purpose of Main Street, and I somehow didn't realize this, it's designed and decorated to be a celebration of the 4th of July every single day.
It still comes through in the barber shop and a few things. But yeah, it was supposed to be all the time. 4th of July, Independence Day, every day.
It's every single day there. And I just thought it was a really patriotic place. I didn't realize that they were celebrating the 4th of July.
American street.
But they have a parade every single day, so I guess it makes perfect sense. But I love the 4th of July, so you think I would know this. I know it now, so I like it even more. So originally they thought that if they were celebrating other holidays in that space, it would confuse guests, it would ruin the magic and the illusion. So they decided that they wouldn't really do anything else. No special holidays. This is what this is. This is what we're gonna do. Go.
Yes, and this is the very, very beginning. So the first few years that Walt Disney World was open.
So then Lake Buena Vista opened in 1975. You may also know it as Walt Disney World Village, aka Disney Village Marketplace, aka Downtown Disney, aka Disney Springs.
Yes.
It's had many names, but when it opened, it was Lake
Lake
Buena
Buena
Vista
Vista.
Shopping Village.
Which you still see on a lot of merchandise. I mean, that's
Hmm.
still relevant, but that's what it was originally called. So,
Yes. So after it opened, Disney was looking for ways to entice guests and locals to come visit the new area once it was open,
mhm.
and trying to draw people in, basically, like get people into the shops, into the restaurants. There was like 20 some odd shops, like four restaurants or something, and they needed people in there.
Yes.
So they came up with this concept of having a village Halloween party.
Yeah.
Because Lake Buena Vista opened in March, I believe, of 75, and come Halloween time, they said, "Oh, okay, let's have people come trick or treat. That'd
Very
be a great way
similar.
to get people in."
Yes, very similar to mall trick or treating. I mean, that's pretty much what it
Yeah.
was. If you've ever worked at a mall or taken your kids to a mall, I never trick or treated in a mall, but I worked in malls and so did you. And it's, the kids will come through and the different stores will give out candy.
Hmm.
Very, very similar. I mean, pretty much that concept is what was happening. And
Yeah.
there was like a few other things, but basically it was just trick or treating.
Yeah, yeah. Not a new idea, just recycling old ideas, but using them in new ways.
Yes.
So it did prove to be a success. They got a lot of locals, a lot of guests from the parks in to trick or treat, and they decided to start around this time hosting Halloween parties at hotels. Some of the I don't know what you call them, like not off park. I guess at the time they were sort of off park, but like the
Swan and Dolphin. I mean, that's not.
contemporary,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
contemporary in particular, had a Halloween party. Um, just like in the hotel itself. It wasn't like in the parks. It was just like a
Oh,
small
you mean
thing.
on property, but not in the park.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Just in the hotel. So like in their like ballroom or whatever they have there, they had a Halloween party. I imagine they were passing out candy and things and just yeah,
Little games and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, just celebrating the holiday.
Low
But
key from what we know today.
yeah, but giving guests extra added experiences to enjoy.
Yeah.
So in 1979, Disney decided to host a hard ticket event around Halloween called Halloween Hysteria. This didn't actually take place on Halloween. It was the closest Saturday to Halloween, which was the 27th. The event took place inside the Magic Kingdom. It ran from 9 p.m. to 1:30
So
a.m.
more older, I mean, there are people who will keep little ones out that late, but in general, more of like an older kid or adult kind of vibe
Mhm.
because it was so much later.
And this was exemplified by the performances of Dr. Hook and the Police.
Yeah, that song by the Police is going to be stuck in my head for days.
Mhm.
I like that song anyway, but
I've never heard of Dr. Hook before.
no, I know the Police.
I guess it's a late 70s, early 80s thing, but anyway,
If
apparently
you
it's
know,
popular
let
because they're
us
with the
know.
Police. So they performed. There wasn't a whole lot other than that happening. Just it could be they're late. Bands were performing, and I guess there was probably candy and stuff around. I'm sure.
Hmm.
Halloween themed decor.
Yeah, dipping the toe into
Yes.
that kind of event.
So even though Disney found success with these events, there were still no plans for an annual Halloween themed celebration. They weren't really thinking, oh, this will be a year after year thing. It's a one-off thing. Whatever. We'll just move on.
Yeah.
So in 1983, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party was rolled out for the very first time. That's when the
Yeah.
very first
Which is
Very Merry
incredible.
Christmas
I mean,
happened.
about 40 years,
Hmm.
so it's been around a long time.
Yeah, 3 years before I was born. Originally, it was a one night only event, and it was a one night only event for the first 6 years of its inception. So they'd have it once a year. And I mean, I'm sure it was popular. I'm sure people came and checked it out, but it wasn't so popular that they thought,
Demanding date after date
yeah,
after
yeah,
date.
that they had to expand it beyond that. So for
Mhm.
6 years, one night you could go to the party. It was a very special thing.
Yes.
Slowly, though, it did gain in popularity, and they did find reason to expand it into additional evenings. In 1989, it expanded to a 2 night event, and in 1990, it went to a 3 night event. So getting a little crazy there.
Yeah. And then in the 90s, Disney wanted to look at ways that they could boost. And now we think of Disney, there's really, people will ask, like people who are going to Disney for the first time, they'll say, when's it slow?
Mm.
It's like, there are slower times, but it's always been, it just really is now. But they were looking in the early 90s at times to increase guest attendance during their slower
Yeah,
times
because
of
they
the
did
year.
have slow times then, and they don't have those now because of things like this. And this was also part of Michael Eisner's goals that he had. And he wanted to create a park experience where guests could spend their entire vacation on site, no matter what time of the year. They would have plenty of things to entertain them, not just the same old rides, but like events and shows, things that they could go see specific to the time of year, just to keep people coming back.
Yeah.
At different times of the year, throughout the year.
Which proved to be, I mean, we'll get into it, but hugely successful because people will travel just to go to these parties now. Like that's I mean, they'll enjoy the parks as well. I am going to hop over to the live chat because Miss V, hi. All right. Hello. Thanks for watching. Let us know if you've been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. That is what we're talking about tonight. And yeah, we're going to share some really cool stuff. We have not been, but we did a lot of research. Yeah, we really want to. It's
especially after looking at all of this. Yeah. I really want to go.
Well, Steph, and people go back and forth. I love Christmas, but people love Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. More so popular than Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, I would say. So it's definitely on our list of must do.
Yes. So early 90s is when they started to seriously consider and explore the idea of creating a special seasonal event in the park, or seasonal events. Because in the following 5 years, from like 1990 to 1995, we got the first Flower and Garden Festival in Epcot, holidays around the world at World Showcase, and they had the Mardi Gras celebration that was on Pleasure Island back when Pleasure Island was a thing.
Yes.
So lots of special events happening throughout the year.
Yeah, Pleasure Island, if you do not know, you can look at old videos and commercials, but that was a big thing that the parents and like the adults, it was catered to them. That's all you need to know. You can look it up if you're interested.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Still, though, after all of this, Halloween was yet to be developed as an event. They didn't have anything planned yet. That is until Universal Studios started their Fright Night event in 1991. Now, this is a thing. It changed names a couple of times. They had a lot of different things happening, but it started in 91. It was very popular. It was advertised towards like teens and adults. A lot of the advertising said, hey, don't bring kids, it's super scary, you don't want to freak them out, but it was very, very popular. They were very successful with it. So
yes. And it's still Universal is still incredibly popular at Halloween, especially for people who do like more of the like scare vibes.
Right. Yeah, they have the Universal monsters, so they sort of have the originators of the whole scary Halloween thing.
Yeah.
But because of this, and I didn't find anything that absolutely said this, but the timeline lines up where it's like, okay, obviously Disney saw the success that they were having, and they were like, okay, we have to get in this Halloween business.
We got to cash in.
But we made it more family friendly and more kid friendly, which honestly, super good
Such
move.
A smart move.
Because Universal wasn't cashing in on like kids coming in, so they said, okay, let's take all that leftover market, bring it in here. It's our market anyway. It fits, it's on brand, so. That's what they ended up doing.
That takes us to October 1995.
Yes, 1995. Disney celebrated their very first Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. It was the very first event, and much like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas, it was only for a single night.
Which, again, we mentioned earlier, but now, and it's not every night, but it's multiple nights a week starting in August, mid-August, all the way, and it goes until November 1st, so until Halloween is done. I mean, and they are filling up these tickets. Many of the nights sell out, and they're really rigging them in. I'm going to hop back over to the live chat. If you're watching the replay, I'm hopping to the live chat. And let's see, Destiny says, I'll be there in 12 days. I've got a Sally costume. What costume would you wear and still be comfortable, not too hot? Sally is so fun. We have not watched that yet this year. And that's a good because it's, Halloween through Christmas. It's appropriate. And you can meet, we'll get into that too, but you can meet Sally there. She's a very in-demand character though. So I don't know what we would do. Family costumes, probably.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends on what
I would want to do, what we're into. We're doing Toy Story this year. We're doing family Toy Story, but we're not going to the party. That's just going to be here.
That's just a trick or treat
in the Midwest. Yes.
So it was only for a single night, but based on the strong positive reaction they had from guests and due to the word of mouth that increased its popularity, the event was bumped to 2 nights in 1997. So only 2 years after, it got 2 extra nights, or 1 extra night. And then 3 nights in 1999. So they were adding them on left and right. But then it just kept growing from there. In 2001, they got 5 nights. 2003, they got 10 nights. 2005, 15 nights. So it really, really kept getting popular. They kept seeing that people were, I'm sure it was selling out. They were selling out, and they're like, wow, we could have added an extra night and got more people.
Well, and also just the amount of people then coming to the park specifically for that and making it so that it becomes, there's never a slow time at Disney.
So, without boring you with a bunch of dates and numbers, today it's celebrated for an astonishing 35 days, and it spans from August through October, actually till November 1st, but through those 3 months, which is crazy. It's longer than Very Merry Christmas. I guess that just is a testament to how popular it is and how much people like it and how awesome it is and just how much fun it is.
Yeah. Well, and I, in my, well, it's not really 9 to 5 because I work for myself. I'm a freelance social media manager. That is my work. And I do work for some Disney related brands. And one of them, that I do a lot of work with, their busiest time for things is fall, which it's interesting to look at that, 30 years ago, they were like, okay, how do we make things, how do we get the people coming in this Halloween time and into fall, our slower time, and now it's some of the busiest times in the park.
Yeah. What started as a way to get people in during their slow time has turned it into just year-round craziness.
Yeah.
Which I guess is the goal as a business, so good on them. So that's the basic history of the party, how it came to be and through its years. So what is there to do there? Question mark. Well, there's lots to do apparently. I knew like the basics. I knew there was trick or treating. I knew they had like a show. There is so much to do there. I really want to go do this. So let's start out at the very, very basic. You can dress up and go trick or treating. Now this obviously is a big deal because you can't cosplay at the Disney parks.
Like he couldn't dress up. I couldn't dress up as Cinderella, because they get worried that if children are confused or anyone is confused and thinks that it's a character, it can cause disturbances and it can cause that break in all of, Disney works really hard to make sure that the magic is really there. And so it can cause issues. Now, of course, younger little ones like our daughter did Bippity Boppity Boutique and things. Yeah. That's okay. But like he couldn't dress up as Captain America.
This is one of the only times adults can go in dressed up to the Disney parks. Now, there are rules. You can't be lewd, crude, or suggestive, and they reserve the right to kick you out if you are. So, family friendly only, please.
Yes. And I am going to hop back to the chat. Someone else hopped on. What is the average cost of going to the Halloween party? It is about $100 for each ticket. And we're going to get into this, but you can get into the park starting at 4, and then the party starts a couple hours later. So it is a cool time to go. You can ride rides with a lot shorter wait times and do all the stuff we're about to talk about.
In 95, I believe I read that it was like $15 or $17. So it's a little more.
Yeah, but you can do a lot more now, though.
But it's also 24 years later. So,
yeah, I know. 95 wasn't that recently. I mean, come on.
So you can dress up. You can go trick-or-treating in the Magic Kingdom, which is super awesome. There are special treat locations. So basically you enter the park, you get your band if you don't already have it, and they give you a trick-or-treating bag.
Yes. And they will clear the park if other people are in it. You can't hang out.
Yeah, it closes at 6.
Yes.
And then everything like starts up and going at 7. So you get in there, you start doing your thing. There are these large inflatable towers. They're just like big vertical cone things. They're not cones, but they're tubes. They're big toilet paper rolls.
It's well marked.
Yeah, that tells you where the candy is. All locations are indicated on a party map that you get when you enter the park.
Similar to the cookies, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
Yeah, exactly. You get a map, tells you where to go to get the treats.
Yep.
The candy that is handed out includes those from the Mars Wrigley family of candy. And like I said, you are given a bag when you arrive. But I also saw pictures of kids with these really cool like Mickey buckets. So I'm assuming you can just buy those also. I don't know. Yeah,
and you can also do, because we have a daughter who has peanut allergies, they're really good about that. Like they have you can swap things out. Like you can look up all these details if you need them. But they're really good about letting you know what you're getting as you would expect.
And fun fact, usually we have our fun fact lightning round. We're just going to sprinkle these in throughout
Fun
on this
fact.
one because they're just fun facts throughout. This year, Mickey's PhilharMagic is one of the treat locations, and inside they are playing the adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad for the length of the evening. So if you want, you can go in there, get some candy, and you could watch the whole movie if you wanted to.
Yes. And a tip that we have heard from people and also when we research this episode is that they really never ever run out of candy. It's not like they're like shutting down their doors like, oops, we didn't
Yeah.
buy enough bags at, Target or Walmart. So if there are other things you want to do, you might want to do that first. Like if there's a character you want to see and you want to wait in line or you want to see a parade or something, do that, then go get the candy.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you do when you're done trick-or-treating? Or if you don't trick-or-treat at all?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can check out the stage shows, meet and greets, and the parties around the park. Originally, the stage show and meet and greet was with animated Disney villains. It was led by Dr. Facilier from Princess and the Frog. And he's one of my favorites. I love him.
We love that movie.
And it was titled The Disney Villains Mix and Mingle. And it was held at Cinderella Castle on the forecourt stage where all the stuff happens. After the show, the villains would disperse and they would go to different areas of the park for meet and greet opportunities. Now, I did watch a video of this, and it was like it's like an awkward late 90s rap montage, like a sing-song rap kind of song. So I didn't like it, but it
wasn't your cup.
It wasn't my cup of tea. But it was still fun for kids and stuff. I guess you get to see your favorite characters, and you get to see the villains up there, which you don't ever see.
Yeah, and that's one of the cool things about these parties is you get to see characters who you don't typically get to see, which is why some of them that we'll get into have some very long lines.
But thankfully, this show ended in 2014. In 2015, a new stage show titled Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular debuted at the same spot. With the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus, as well as appearances from other Disney villains, including Dr. Facilier, thank goodness, Oogie Boogie, and Maleficent. So they completely changed it up, and if you haven't seen the show, watch on YouTube. It's awesome. It's so much fun. I mean, they do like a whole like skit, and they do the songs from the movie, obviously. But then the villains come out, but they only keep the good ones that you want to see. And it's just so much fun. It's so cool. I would really like to see this live. But there is, of course, a parade and fireworks.
Yes.
As there is.
Which they're
with all Disney special events.
constantly upping their game with. And the fireworks show, some people don't like to watch fireworks on phones. You don't want to, like those pictures that people take every 4th of July that are terrible and no one wants to see on Facebook or wherever you're posting them on Instagram. But this is worth watching on YouTube. It is very cool. It is not like your cousin's fireworks video on their phone. They're cool.
Disney fireworks through and through are amazing, but this one, we're going to get into it. But the parade that you go to, Mickey's Boo to You Halloween Parade.
Boo.
It features a pre-parade ride by the Headless Horseman from Legends of Sleepy Hollow, which is super cool because you get to see the Headless Horseman trot down with his pumpkin head.
Yes. If the ground's wet, he sometimes doesn't go out, but the parade is twice per party, so you do have a second chance to see.
But it looks so cool, and Sleepy Hollow, oddly, is like one of my favorite movies for some reason. It never used to be, but then I watched it again this year, and I was like, I really like this. I watch it every single year.
Yeah, where was I?
I watched it on my phone while I was working.
Okay.
But it's just one of those ones where I just somehow find myself watching it at least once a year, and I'm like, I really like this. There's something like cozy about it. I don't know. But it's super cool to see him ride down. The parade features various Disney characters, Mickey and Minnie, Donald and Daisy, Winnie and Pooh, Tigger, etc. But they're all in Halloween costumes. So super cool.
It's special, yeah.
There is a live-action version of the 3 hitchhiking ghosts from the Haunted Mansion. That's super cool. And the Gravediggers are all these guys in like suits. The guys with the shovels. They walk around and they like dance in unison. And they scrape the shovels and make sparks. Super awesome. And the villains are also in the parade, and they're in their own little float. So you get like all the classic villains. Like I think there's Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook. Who else did I see? A few others, but they have their own float in the parade. Yeah, so you get to see all those guys still.
And there was something new added this year.
Yes, this year,
Brand new.
additional updates were included. We got 2 new Tomorrowland themed floats. Now, this is the first time that Tomorrowland has ever been included in the parade.
Yeah, that
When the
surprised
parade first, in its incarnation, I guess, they had floats representing every land in the Magic Kingdom.
But Tomorrowland.
Yeah, except Tomorrowland, which they just, I don't know if they just couldn't think of a way to include it. I didn't find a reason for why they didn't have it. They just never had it. So this is the first year we get that.
And I'm excited because it features Buzz Lightyear.
Yes.
I love Buzz.
There's a Buzz Lightyear float with
Yeah.
the alien explorers. And then there's an Incredibles float with Edna Mode and the Incredibles.
Edna.
And there's a new
Coral.
special Spectral Bride float with the Ghost Bride Constance from the Haunted Mansion, which is super cool. And they all look awesome. So all these new floats were added.
Yeah, they're brand new and they're well done.
Fun fact. These new floats are actually recycled units from previous Disney attractions. So, in typical Imagineer fashion, they took old stuff and made it new.
Yes. If this is your first time watching, if you've been, because some of the viewers might be watching this because they're researching for the party. We have Disney Deep Dive episodes every week, and it is a common theme that Disney Imagineers will recycle things, they'll reuse things, and it's really, really neat to see. You can watch. There's a link to the playlist in the bio. There's like 13 hours of us talking about Disney rides and attractions. Pirates, Ariel.
What's the other one?
We did Thunder Mountain Railroad.
The toboggans.
Yeti. Yeah, we've done lots of.
They recycle everything. So this is no exception. The Incredibles floats were part of the Incredibles Tomorrowland Expo in 2018. So it was part of a different parade.
Yep.
The green aliens from Toy Story float. So the claw aliens.
Can I see it?
Is it in there?
I've got it.
We have one of them. But it was from the Pixar Play Parade at Disneyland, so they borrowed that little car. And then the Buzz Lightyear float was actually originally the Pirates float in the parade. So there was a pirate float, Pirates of the Caribbean, I'm assuming, in the parade, and they retooled it, changed the rock into like Martian rock, and now it is Buzz Lightyear on a foreign planet.
Yeah. He's a space ranger after
So
all.
that's the parade. It's super cool. Watch videos of it. It's awesome. I really would like to see it in person. Now we move on to the fireworks show. It is titled Disney's Not So Spooky Spectacular, and it debuted August of this year. It's brand new.
And they had the other one for 15 years. So it had a good run, and now they have a new one.
Yes. So previously the show was called Happy Hollow Wishes, a grim grinning ghost spectacular in the sky. Long name. And it was based on the Haunted Mansion. It featured dark music from Disney movies, just like some of like the darker, scarier music. But it was all about the Haunted Mansion.
Oh,
and
13 years. Okay.
Oh yeah, ran for 13 years.
I said 15, but pretty
A
close.
little bit of history on this. Prior to Happy Hollow Wishes, which debuted in 2005, a revival of the classic fireworks show Fantasy in the Sky is what was shown. And at the end, there was a 3-minute Halloween-themed finale featuring the old witch from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs as the host of the finale.
Cool.
So she would like show up really tiny, and I saw a video of it. I could not tell what she was saying. She was just screaming a bunch of random stuff. But they did play like a bunch of Halloween music at the end, and it seemed cool. But the reincarnation of that, the Happy Hollow Wishes, was cool, and this new one is incredible. Like
it's worth a watch.
Even
it's really
I've never been so entranced by, like, I mean, because we were there for Very Merry Christmas, and we saw the Elsa Frozen,
Elsa iced the castle.
Yeah, icing the castle, which was cool. I was like, oh, that's really cool.
It was really cool.
But the projection mapping on this new one is insane. I mean, that alone is worth watching, but the beginning of it, and it's the whole story. The beginning, Jack Skellington comes out, and this Jack Skellington puppet is mind-boggling. It's so cool. It's you just have to watch it because it looks like him come to life, but it's a puppet. It's amazing. And then the entire thing goes through this whole story of Mickey and Donald and Pluto, like walking through the haunted castle, I guess, and being like led by Zero, the ghost dog, and
Mm-hmm.
like running into all these traps and troubles and things. And it's just the like I said, the projection mapping they have on the castle is
He's excited,
insane.
is what he's saying.
I watched it
Yeah.
twice. Like it was like a 15-minute video, and I was like, I'm watching it again
Mm-hmm.
because that was insane. Like just the level that they had this technology at is just nuts. So watch it for sure. Even if you've been there before, watch it again. I really want to see it in person because it seems like it would be really, really
Yeah.
cool.
We really want to go we want to go for many reasons, but we definitely want to go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
And I would totally dress up and trick or treat. That would be super fun.
Oh, 100.
So those are the main events. Like they basically have their like their pillars of what the party is. Those are the main things.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting into some other random awesomeness of the party.
All right.
You go.
So, yes. So, some of the rides get special overlays during the Halloween parties. So,
We've talked about it before.
Yeah, we talked about Space Mountain in our episode about Space Mountain. And one really cool one, though, is Pirates of the Caribbean. And Pirates of the Caribbean will have live actors on the ride. So the last couple of years, they have been doing this, and they interact with the guests when you're going on the rides, which is awesome. The Pirates of the Caribbean episode was our very first episode, and still one of my favorites. That one was so fun.
Yeah.
So if you have that chance or you're interested, watch it.
Yeah, check that one out for sure.
And not just because, watch it because we filmed it, but just the facts was interesting to me. I liked that one. It was a good one. And then Space Mountain is one of the things you can do is they turn off the lights, right?
Now this isn't just like it's already dark, right?
Right.
But
all of the lights.
All of the lights are turned off. There's a different soundtrack. I think throughout the ride there's a different soundtrack. It might just be in the queue. I'm not sure. But different music, and even like the tunnel, and it's like doing the fast thing to make it seem like you're going faster.
It's just
Everything's
dark.
off. It's just dark. You're just on this thing in pitch black. And from what I've read, it feels like it's way, way faster than it actually is.
And
like
it's
we
not
said,
a very fast ride.
yeah, it's one of the slowest roller coasters in the park. But when it's pitch black, it feels super fast. So I want to do that. That sounds like it's super fun. Now the Haunted Mansion, obviously, it's spooky enough all year.
Yeah.
It doesn't need an overlay. But for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, they do add ghosts to the front yard, and they interact with guests as they pass by. So what you get is they have like improv actors out front, and they're dressed as ghosts with like this cool makeup and stuff, and they're interacting with people as they walk by and with each other, and it's this whole like event. So
And
you could
if
just stop and watch that.
Yes, and that's a good point to bring up really too is if you're trying to go to these parties, there's definitely, check out Pinterest, check out more things on YouTube, like do your research, but there is so much. I think that a lot of times people, and we understand it because we're that way as well, we're not constantly going, we're not APs. People want to cram in everything. And then the issue is they're like, oh, well, we're like waiting in line and we can't do this and we're going to miss this. But there is so much to do and see and enjoy that you can take in, even if you're just standing, walking around, if you're waiting for a family member while they're in the bathroom or something. There's just constantly stuff to do and see. So don't be trying to do everything. Enjoy it for what it is, because there's really a lot to enjoy. Some of the best memories I have from Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party were just, remember, one of our kids fell asleep, like we went and got some cookies, and then we went on Haunted Mansion, and she woke up on Haunted Mansion, which
I'm sure it was terrifying for her
felt
she
a
was
little bad
little at
about
the time.
that. Yeah,
But it was still cool.
yeah, but yeah, but some of the moments that weren't necessarily the things that you're like ticking off the boxes, we did that. It's just the littler things in these because it is really unique, and it's nice to not have the party as packed in. So it's definitely, there's lots to enjoy.
Oh wait, that does remind me. There is one thing in Frontierland, another like the ghost in front of the Haunted Mansion. I can't remember. It's like the guys who go around singing there. Oh, what are they called?
The quartet.
Yeah, what are their names?
Here,
I
keep
can't
going.
remember.
I'm looking it up.
Anyway, for Halloween, they change, and it's something like the Cadavers or something, and they sing like Halloween themed songs. So like even that, like they changed that part up. So all these details are put into it. So it's super. I mean, of course, lots of work put in, attention to detail as usual.
Cadaver Dance Barbershop Quartet.
That's it. Yep.
I
And I
love
watched a
me some
video of that.
Google.
It looks really cool. So Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. This is new. It gets a special Halloween overlay. It's also a candy gathering location, so you can go in and get candy. But then they also have like a Halloween themed like
And this
jokes
is the
for
first
everyone.
year. This year is the first year.
Yes. And I actually didn't realize what the Laugh Floor was all about. That it's like an interactive improv comedy thing. I just figured it out after watching videos of this, which is super cool. I really want to go now because it sounds like it's a lot of fun.
Yes, and we love, well, actually, our favorite is Monster University, but we do love
Yes.
Monsters Inc. I love Sully. Sully is my #1 favorite character, and yeah, I would love to go hang out with Sully. He gives the best hugs.
Okay, it's big and fuzzy.
Yeah, and for all the reasons that I love Sully.
So there are Halloween themed dance parties you can attend. So if you want to go out and dance, have some fun, party up a little bit, you can do that. There are 3, I think, in total, maybe more, but I found 3. There's one in Fantasyland, 2 in Tomorrowland. Now, the one, and I just wanted to mention this because our daughter loves Descendants. She thinks it's great.
Loves Descendants.
And the party at Cosmic Rays Starlight Cafe in Tomorrowland is a Descendants themed party. So it's not the actors, of course, but it's people as them
And-
coming,
And the music.
dancing, singing, playing games, super interactive, lots of fun. If we went to it, that would be a must do because she would lose her little mind about it.
Yeah. If you, and I mean, I like the music. They're fun. Like Disney Channel movies are fun, and the music is good.
Yeah,
It's a good
especially
one.
those ones. I mean, I've listened to
Well,
them
High
enough
School
now.
Musical was popular
I've never seen one of those.
for. She'd like them. We should watch them soon.
Yeah, we should get those. Actually, with Disney Plus, they'll be on there.
Yes, let us know if you're getting Disney.
Speaking
Plus.
of random side note, if you've seen the recent Disney Plus trailer, it is the most epic trailer for a streaming service I've ever seen in my entire life.
It makes me emotional
I watched it 3 times
by choice.
by choice. Like it was one of those random videos when you're on Instagram and you scroll up and it
The
like just starts
sponsor.
playing. I watched it and then I scrolled up and then back so I could watch it again and then up and back again
And he showed it to me.
and then showed it to you because it's just so epic. It's amazing, and I don't like that word and I'm using it because it's
Epic.
It is.
It's the other word you don't like.
There's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But that is Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I'm sure there's facts and details and things that we're missing. I kind of wanted just to go over the brief history of it and then kind of cover what is happening right now as we
Currently.
speak, because there's lots of new stuff and it's always changing. That's the thing. Every year something's different. They add something new. So it's not like we can do an all-encompassing history. We could, but I don't have that kind of time to research. So we just did the brief
Yes.
history and then what it is that you can check out right now.
And we do want to tell you a couple things that are related to this. One thing is we have a P.O. box, and I got something that I was not expecting. I didn't know was going to be there, and I thought I would share it with you guys. This is, and by no means sponsored. Stefan's like, I wish. But this is from helpsticker.com, and I will put these on my Instagram too, which is linked in the description box. I'm at LeahTackles. But what they are is they are stickers, and they have different themed ones. So if I'm lost, please call. And then they also have ones, let me see, another good one to show. All different cute patterns, but then like we like this one. Let me oops. There we go.
Allergy alert.
Yes, because we have a daughter with an allergy. But what's really unique about these stickers is that the father who came up with them because of a Disney trip. He did the prototype, and then people were asking about them, and so they tested them out on the trip. And you want to hold that for a second for me? Okay. So he has a background in adhesive technologies, labeling, and barcoding. So I thought that was really interesting. And so he made the prototypes, but the best things about them is that they remove cleanly, no residue. They aren't going to get accidentally washed and dried and then not be able to come off the clothes. And they're also water resistant. So it's a really cool thing that if you are traveling to the parks, might be something to consider. You can put your phone number on there. And I know a lot of people, ourselves included, like we have our kids' backpacks monogrammed because we don't want it to say Haley, because you hear those stories about you're at the airport or something and people say, oh, Haley, and then they say, oh, I know your parents and this and that. But you can just have their phone number, so you don't have to have their name on it. I think it's kind of cool. What do you think? I mean, you like them?
Yeah, they're super cool. I mean, we put these little tiny stickers in our kids' shoes and on their loveys and stuff. So this is just the larger version of that.
Yes.
More technologically sound version of that.
Yes. But really, really cool. Super nice letter with them and everything. So it's definitely something to check out. I mean, I think it'd be useful anytime you're going somewhere like that and you're going to be in a large crowd. And it'd be really useful at schools and things too. So,
again, not sponsored, just think it's cool.
Yeah, not sponsored. I wish. And cool product though, and I do appreciate them sending it to me because it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was that. And then we also want to thank the liveplace.com for hosting us, and that is linked in the description box. They have a lot of family-friendly content, a lot of really, really nice people and Disney streamers. We really appreciate Dean for hosting us there on theliveplace.com. And you want to tell them what's coming up in the upcoming Halloween
we've
weeks?
got 3 weeks left in Halloween. We are doing all of the spooky rides, so we'll be doing Tower of Terror. Another one that I haven't decided yet because I'm trying to figure out what is really spooky. And then we are ending on the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, so it's coming.
There's so much.
There's so much. It's going to be such a good. And I don't know if anyone noticed today we were on our phones. We're on our Google Docs on our phones. Usually we have pages and pages of script, but yeah, it's going to be a beast. We'll have to. Stefan, I'm sure
it's
going to
be
bragging
a
about how long
so,
it is.
Yeah, get ready for that and buckle in because we're going to be going over our usual hour or less time limit.
Because we usually go to, we go on Thursdays, and Halloween falls on a Thursday this year. I will be posting on LeahTackles on Instagram. He'll post on
Small World Shirts Co.
And the live place will be updated. We may be going live the day before because we do have 3 young kids who will want to go trick-or-treating. So
that will be exhausting, and I don't know if I want to read 16 pages of
after
and
we've
info
gone
after doing that.
Trick-or-treating with 3 little kids, and then they want to sort their candy and do all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So.
But be sure to tune in for it. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
and
if you like
for the rest of our shows this month, because
give it a thumbs up.
They're going to be spooky and fun and awesome. And I already told you our Instagram.
Yeah, share this if you like it. Share it with friends. Like the video. Leave us comments. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. It does mean a lot to us, especially if you're watching live. If you're watching the replay, leave us comments as well. Questions, we'll answer them. Check the description box. I try to put all relevant info you might want or need there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we hope you have a magical night.
We'll see you real soon.
Bye, guys.